The Disgrace of Gijón. In the final group stage match of the 1982 World Cup in Spain, West Germany and Austria played a game that both teams knew they could manipulate to eliminate Algeria, who had already played their final group match. West Germany scored after 10 minutes, and then nothing happened. For the remaining 80 minutes, both teams passed the ball around aimlessly, with no genuine attempt to score, knowing that a one-goal West German victory would send both European sides through at Algeria's expense. The Algerian commentator reportedly wept on air. Neutrals watching across the world could not believe what they were seeing. Two nations openly colluding in the middle of a World Cup, in front of a crowd that booed continuously and waved white handkerchiefs in disgust. Some fans even held up banknotes to mock what they were witnessing. Both teams went through. Algeria went home. FIFA responded by changing the rules so that final group stage matches would be played simultaneously from the next tournament onwards, an admission that they had allowed the conditions for the scandal to exist in the first place.
The Hand of God. On June 22, 1986, in the quarterfinal between Argentina and England in Mexico City, Diego Maradona scored with his left hand. He knew it, his teammates knew it, the English players knew it. The referee did not see it, and the goal stood. Maradona told the press afterwards that it was scored a little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God, one of the most audacious pieces of post-match spin in the history of sport. 4 minutes later, he scored perhaps the greatest individual goal ever seen at a World Cup, collecting the ball in his own half and dribbling past 5 England players before finishing. The proximity of the two moments, the most blatant piece of cheating and the most sublime piece of football back to back from the same man, is what made the whole thing so impossible to resolve. Argentina won 2-1 and went on to win the tournament. England went home.
The Phantom Goal. In the 2010 World Cup round of 16 match between England and Germany, Frank Lampard struck a shot that hit the underside of the crossbar, bounced clearly over the goal line, and was not given. Television replays showed the ball had crossed the line by over a foot. The referee and his assistant did not see it. England were already losing and went on to lose 4-1, but the goal would have made it 2-2 at halftime and changed the entire dynamic of the match. The incident became the single most cited argument for goal line technology in football's history and directly accelerated FIFA's decision to introduce it at the 2014 World Cup. It was not a scandal in the sense of corruption or deliberate cheating. It was simply a catastrophic human error that changed the outcome of a World Cup knockout match. England's players and manager were left with nothing but the footage, which showed what everyone watching already knew. The bite. Luis Suárez biting people was not a new phenomenon by the time the 2014 World Cup arrived in Brazil. He had done it twice in club football, received bans both times, and arrived to the tournament as one of the most gifted and most combustible players in the world. In the group stage match against Italy, with Uruguay needing a result to progress, Suárez bit Giorgio Chiellini on the shoulder. Chiellini pulled down his shirt to show the mark to the referee. Nothing was given. Uruguay scored moments later and went through. It was only after the match that the footage was reviewed, the bite confirmed, and Suárez handed a 9-match international ban and a 4-month ban from all football activity. He was sent home from the tournament. Uruguay protested. Chiellini, remarkably, later publicly forgave him. The whole episode had a quality of absurdity that football rarely manages. One of the best players in the world at the biggest tournament, biting a defender on the shoulder like a child, and briefly getting away with it. The referee fix. In the 2002 World Cup, co-hosted by South Korea and Japan, South Korea made an extraordinary run to the semifinals, becoming the first Asian team ever to reach that stage. The football was real. The performances were often remarkable, but the refereeing in South Korea's matches became a subject of fierce controversy that has never fully gone away. In their round of 16 match against Spain, 2 legitimate Spanish goals were disallowed for offside and a foul that replays suggested did not exist. Spain went out on penalties. In the quarterfinal against Italy, Francesco Totti was given a second yellow card for diving that looked on replay like a genuine foul on him. Damiano Tommasi had a goal disallowed. Italy went out in extra time. Ecuador referee Byron Moreno, who officiated the Italy match, was later imprisoned for drug smuggling. Not football related, but a detail that added a particular texture to the memory of his performance. FIFA investigated and found no evidence of organized corruption. Many who watched those matches have never accepted that finding. The Zidane Headbutt, the 2006 World Cup final between France and Italy in Berlin. Extra time. The score level at 1-1. Zinedine Zidane, in what was to be the last match of his career, received a red card for headbutting Marco Materazzi in the chest. He had to walk past the World Cup trophy on his way off the pitch, a detail so perfectly cinematic that it would have seemed too contrived for fiction. Materazzi had said something to him. The lip readers and journalists spent weeks trying to establish what, and Materazzi eventually confirmed he had made a comment about Zidane's sister. Italy went on to win on penalties. Zidane won the Golden Ball as the tournament's best player, despite leaving the final in disgrace. The bet scandal. South Africa, 2010. During the 2010 World Cup, FIFA became aware of suspicious betting patterns around certain matches, particularly involving referees. The case that attracted most attention centered around Mali referee Komen Koulibaly, whose performance in the United States versus Slovenia group match, in which he disallowed what appeared to be a legitimate Maurice Edu goal that would have won the game for the U.S., prompted significant scrutiny. No corruption was ever proven against Koulibaly specifically, and he denied any wrongdoing. But the broader issue of match-fixing attempts at major tournaments was real and documented. Europol later identified over 380 suspicious matches across world football, including some with World Cup connections. The 2010 tournament was the moment FIFA could no longer credibly claim the problem did not exist at its flagship competition. The Qatar corruption scandal. The decision to award the 2022 World Cup to Qatar was announced in December 2010, and almost immediately, the legitimacy of that decision was questioned. Over the following years, American and Swiss investigators built cases against FIFA officials that revealed systematic corruption in the bidding process for multiple tournaments. 14 FIFA officials and marketing executives were indicted by the United States Department of Justice in 2015. Sepp Blatter, FIFA's president since 1998, resigned. Michel Platini, the UEFA president who had urged European federations to vote for Qatar, was banned from football. The Sunday Times published documents suggesting Qatari officials had paid over $5 million to secure votes. Qatar denied the allegations. The tournament went ahead in November and December 2022, the first World Cup held in winter in a country with no football tradition to speak of, in stadiums largely built by migrant workers whose treatment drew sustained international criticism. The football was, in its own way, fine. Everything surrounding it was not.